going to try to keep it short. I'm very bad with timing. I just want to say a little, first of all, thank you to Hashem, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for making this happen. I want to say a little short Dvar Torah, encompassing the Gemara's during Pesachim. We finished with Batra, Pesachim. Also, a little bit of Musar, some Londis, and anyone that knows me, I like the Zera Shimshon, so I'm going to have to say something with that too. The Yidden were by Har Sinai, and they're ready to accept the Torah. They send up their leader, Moshe Rabbeinu, and he accepts the Torah, and he's the one who acquires it for Klal Yisrael. The Zera Shimshon asks, why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to go all the way to Shemayim? We know he actually went inside Shemayim. Why do you have to go to Shemayim to be kind of the Torah? So he says that without Moshe Rabbeinu going to Shemayim, he would never be able to accept and acquire the Torah for Klal Yisrael. We all know, anyone who did the 5th parak in Batra, Daf Ayin Vav, Abaye and Rava both bring down 2 kinyanim. We have Bukharians in the crowd as well, not just Ashkenazim. So I'm going to have to say some English words, please don't judge me, thank you. So, a kinyan is an acquisition. So there's 2 types of acquisitions. One is Mesira. Mesira is when you hand over the item that's being sold. From the seller to the buyer. So a buyer and Rav say in order for it to do Mesira, you gotta be in a public domain. Or a chaser, a courtyard, she'ena shosnem, cannot belong to any party. Then we have Mashicha. Mashicha is when you pull. You pull, the seller, the buyer pulls from the seller, and he acquires it. This can only be done in a simcha, which is like an alley, or a chaser shishneim. They both belong, the chaser, the courtyard, belongs to both of them. And the Shulchan Aruch brings down this halacha, and the Rashbam explains that a Rishus Meicher does not work. You cannot, the buyer can't go to the guy's house and do Mashiach or Mesira in the property of the seller. For an example, for some people, you want to go buy a BMW from your friend Johnny's house. He has the M3 competition package, the whole thing, tinted windows, matte black, next color. So you go to his house and you want to acquire it. So what do? He puts it on neutral and you start pushing the car. And you think you're doing Mashiach, but the problem is you're in his house. So it doesn't work. So back to Har Sinai, what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? He took Shemayim and he bent it over onto Har Sinai. And he brought the Shekhinah with the Torah to Har Sinai. The Torah never left Shemayim. So Moshe wasn't able to really acquire and have a kinyan of the Torah over there. Because it was in the Rishus of the Meicher. It was in the property of the seller. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the seller. So what did Hashem have to do? He had to bring Elyonim down to Tachtayim. And vice versa. And al yedei this, through this action, by Hashem breaking the Teva, he was able to make it the Rishus of Shneim. He made it both of their properties, and Moshe was able to accept the Torah and acquire it for Klal Yisrael. But the only problem is, Torah is massive, it's huge. And we all know, a Mashiach, you have to take it from one spot, you have to move it to a different spot. You can't take the Torah, which is it doesn't work. It's so many dimensions, it's infinite, you can't pick it up. So the Mashiach doesn't work. So how do you do it? So we all learned Ayin Ham and Beis in Batra, and we know it's talking about a sfina, a ship. How do you acquire a boat? You have this huge yacht, these 50, 60 footers. How are you supposed to, do Mashiach on that? So you have to go, Shmuel says, and he says you have to take it from one part of the dock and move it to the next part. Ras says, no, it's a tircha. It's a big, no one wants to do that. move it a little bit, and you're chilling, cultural, that's it. So same thing with the Torah. All Moshe had to do was do a little bit of Mashiach, and everything was going to be fine. So how do? You did this Mashiach, and we know Nadala Porta, Nadala Kula. When you move it a little bit, it's as if you did everything. And the Zer Shimshon brings down that when a person learns Torah, when he starts to learn, it's as if his mind, it's Me'ira Einov, and it enlightens his eyes. And the Zohar says that when a person learns Torah, and he decides, he makes a decision in his brain, I want to be Isaac in Torah, I want to put myself and delve into the Torah, what happens? You attain Chachma, the wisdom to comprehend the whole Torah. This is what the Zohar says. But the only problem is, it's not like a ship. A ship, one day you're going to go, you're going to be on your yacht, and you're going to be in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, going on these fancy cruises. But the Torah, you're never going to be able to fully move it. Even if you have the whole Klal Yisrael. Why? You can learn Chumash, Mishnayos, Gemara, Rishonim, Achrayim, Poskim. You know, the Litvish but you're never going to get. You're going to do Pshat, Rebbe's, Drush, but you're never going to get the Soy. The Kabbalah, the secrets of the Torah, you're never going to get to. And even if you think I learn Kabbalah, no, I learn it. No. You're never going to really comprehend the deep secrets of the Torah. Because Soy is in Shemayim. So how does it work? If he's not going to eventually move the whole thing, so how could he get the kingdom? So the Zer Shimshon brings down a mashal, short mashal, and he says, I'm going to, modify a little bit. You go to Woolio warehouse, and there's 1,000 suits over there. And you're looking at it, and you're like, I want to buy half this warehouse. You go up to Mr. Patel, and you say, I want to take 500 suits, please. And he, doesn't rip you off, and gives you a good price. And he says 500 suits, okay, it's yours. I'm just gonna have to ship it from China for some reason, and I hope it comes on time. Trump, tariffs. So the 500 suits that you bought is not gonna ruin the other you didn't buy the whole entire thing, you're not gonna get the other 500. No. I'm able to acquire part of the warehouse, even though I'm not going to get the second part. Same thing with the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu's intention, his kavanah, was to be kind of the part of the Torah that we will learn. That the Chachmei Yisrael, us, the Talmidei Chacham, the Batra, we're going to be steiging in that Torah. We're going to be Mechadish Kedushin. This is the Torah he was being kind of. Every Jew has a chelik in Torah. No matter who you think you are, you have a special portion in the Torah. And each portion, Moshe Rabbeinu brought down from Har Sinai. And he brought it down and he did this Mashiach for us. And the Zohar says that when a person learns Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu's neshama is extended from every dar into every generation. And every Talmid Chacham and every tzaddik and any Jew who takes upon himself that I'm going to be Isaac in Torah, I'm going to learn Torah because I want to do it for Hashem, what happens? The neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu enters inside of you. And it's nimshach into every yid who's Isaac in Torah. We, Baruch Hashem, have the ability to be in such a yeshiva, and we have the kaitis to, be Isaac in Torah. We see all everyone around us, our chaverim, our friends, and we're here, we're being Isaac, and we're using our time properly. I saw a beautiful mashal from the Ben Ish Chai to bring this lesson out. There's two guys, two businessmen. One guy's name was Eldad, and the other guy's name was Sneaky Shimmy. Okay? We have two of these guys. So we're going to see why he's called Sneaky Shimmy soon. So Shimmy goes up to his friend, Eldad, and he says, Mr. Eldad, I have a good proposal for business deal for you. And he says, okay, let's see it. And he shows him the business plan. He says, look at this. You're going to put a little investment, a lot of profits. So it sounds good. It's like, we're going to write up the LLC. I don't know if you guys know what LLCs are yet, but we all went to Yeshoda, we know this stuff. So he said, I'm going to go make the LLC between us. We're going to become partners. He said, I'll go to the bank. We're going to write it up. You stay here, have some chai, means tea, and I'll be back soon. He leaves. Meanwhile, he goes to his wife, young, attractive woman, and he says, in 15 minutes, go inside the room and start saying, where's my son? Where'd he go? And she's like, why? And he said, no, don't. You're my wife. Just listen to whatever I'm saying. Just do it. I know what I'm doing. She said, okay, fine. 15 minutes later, she goes inside the room. And she says, where's my son? Where'd he go? And the guy's like, don't worry, your son, he went somewhere. He'll be back soon. And she goes back to the room. Mr. Shimi comes back. And he says, the Eldad shows the papers. And Eldad tells him, he says, you know, your mother was here. She was looking for you. And he says, yeah, my father died. And, you know, she doesn't really have no one in life. I'm the only joy in life. She says, why isn't she married? Such a good-looking, beautiful lady. What's the problem? So he says, you know, she's looking for, a guy, handsome, wealthy, rich, who's going to offer her a large ksuba. They want to go after money sometimes. So he says, look at me. I'm a handsome guy. I have a lot of money. I'm willing to put down. He said, how much? $3 million. $3 million, okay. But he says, I want to take a shotgun fee. I have to convince my mom. So he says, shotgun fee is $1 million. Not so much. You're offering $3, okay, $1 million. So the guy, sneaky shimmy, he says, tonight, I'm going to convince her. Tomorrow morning, we're going to go to the, what are they called? The clerks, the judges? I don't know what they're called. We're going to go to the guy. He's going to sign the papers for us. You're going to be married to her. And your kala will be delivered to your doorstep tomorrow night. And as the story goes, Eldad goes home happy. Haman from the Mishnah of Esther, he's coming home with Mamish. He feels like he's the king. And this guy too, he's a chassan. Chassan's the king. He comes the next morning, sneaky shimmy, and he says, Eldad, my mom agreed. And they write the papers, $3 million. He gets the $1 million shotgun fee. And now he goes, shimmy to his mom. And who's his mom? His real mom. He goes, it's some 90-year-old lady. She's, like hunchback, and she's all wrinkled. And she's mamish at the grave. She's already there. And he goes up to her, he said, Ma, you won't believe it. I have an amazing plan. She's like, what do you do this time? And he said, don't worry, you gotta go with it. I just got you married to one of the richest people in the city. She's like, what are you making fun of me? I'm about to die. I'm like 90 years old. And he's like, no, Ma, you gotta do this for me. Please, 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 please. So you know what? Okay, I'll do it for you, Shimmy. Like, don't worry, it's one night. So he brings the chariot, the fancy carriage, he puts her in there, and he sends her off to Eldad's house. Eldad already, he's doing all the preparations, he's making the tablecloth nice, putting out the delicacies, getting his servants to do everything in the house, make everything look perfect. Sees the carriage come, and he tells his avodim, his slaves, he says, go get her, bring her to the reception room. And he brings her, they bring her, he sit her down, and the guy right now, he's in the mirror, he's checking out his suit, his hat right away, putting on his tie, and he walks in the room, what does he see? He looks, and honestly, he's about to cry. He's like, who is this lady sitting in my chair? Like, I thought I was supposed to have a collar. And he sees, what is it? Some old babushka. And he says, what happened? Where's my collar? And she says, he's like, I was talking to Shimmy. She said he's going to send my mom, his mom. He says, what are you, fool? You think that was his mom? That young lady? The guy's balding. The guy's gray. You think that's his mom? So he says, I'm such a, wow, what a fool. And she says, instead of calling yourself a fool, go get me some coffee. I just went from a ride. God, my head's hurting. Please, get me something to drink. And he offers her, I want some delicacy. She's like, no, I don't eat after 6 o'clock. It's already nighttime. I don't eat. So he's like, I can't deal with this lady. I'm sending her out of the house. Go back to your son's house. So he sends her home. And Shimmy is already waiting by the door. He knows the drill. And he sees his mom the next morning. He goes to the judge and he says, Mr. Judge, the guy kicked his wife, my mom, out of the house the first day. And they call him over and he says, I want to get divorced. And I was like, no, I want to get divorced. I like you. And And the guy's fighting in court. You know, these divorce lawyers, they make a lot of money because the guy's like, okay, I'll give you $6 million. Just get out of my face. I don't want to see you anymore. End of the day, Sneaky Shimmy walked out with $7 million. $7 million. Rabbi Sai, the Satan is Sneaky Shimmy. He shows us through our lives, and he says, run after the pleasures of this world. Run after the gashmias. Make more money. Fund another deal. You gotta just look in the gashmias, the vacations, the cars. I don't want to say it's all important because I don't know if it's important. But yeah, it looks enticing. But honestly, at the end of the day, when we're gonna grow old, we don't want to be those guys. And we're gonna look back at our lives and we're gonna be like, wow. My whole life was just one babushka. It was not worth it. I thought I was getting something good, but honestly, it was all fake. And he fakes us out. And at our young age, at our prime ages, right now we're all buffering about, 19, 21 years old. We're in the prime age of our life where we could study, we could learn, and we could go in our witness Hashem, and our midas, being nice to one another, not making fun of them. Our Ruben spoke about today, don't make fun of people. Don't make fun of them. It's not nice. We have to work on our midas, and we have to work while we're still young. We can't be those guys that grow old and just you look back at your life, what did I accomplish? And honestly, that's how I started this whole Batra Pesachim thing. Honestly, me and Yermi one night Seder last year in Elzman. At the end of Elzman, we're like, we only finished 3 blot. What's 3 blot in night Seder? What? That's nothing. I was like, we can't waste our year. And I told him, Yermi, after Sukkot, winter's man, we're doing 1 daf every night Seder, every day, no matter how long it takes. And me and him, honestly, we're not the most brightest people. No, he is. I'm saying for myself. And it was kind of hard for us in the beginning. And you know what he told me? He didn't tell me, no, I don't want to do it. He said, and he didn't even say yes. He said, Yaakov, we got to also do Chazar in the morning before Shacharis. And I was like, there's no way. I used to come in, at 7:55, right before Baruch Hu, with my tefillin barely on. And I was like, you want me to come before Shacharis and wake up early? That's crazy. So no, we could do it, we have to do it. And Baruch Hashem, we started learning every morning at 6:30. I'm not saying we still keep up to it, we're slacking a little bit, but there's ups and downs and everything. But honestly, just looking and we're realizing the koiches within us, and we have to realize what our potentials are. We cannot just sleep around waiting for, it's going to happen. No, you have to put your decision, you have to make it. And you have to say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to start learning, I'm going to start working on myself. And like that, we'll all be able to grow as Hashem closer and closer to Kadosh Baruch Hu. So I want to say thank you so much, Yermi, for inspiring me and being such a great And I'll just say, I'll never be able to stand here if not for my parents. We're there for you. And not only that, but I know all you guys have to eat the yeshiva food, and I know you guys have to do your own laundry. You gotta pay 6 quarters, looking around for quarters. My mother sends me every single night fresh, hot food. Every night. I don't have to worry what I'm getting for dinner. I know I'm gonna get good food. And she gives me the muchas nafshay, the calm mind, peace of mind. And honestly, I don't have to worry. The laundry is sent her. If I forget a shirt at home, she sends it. Everything I know is, ready for me. And I want to thank my parents so much for giving the opportunity to learn. Obviously, thank you to, all my relatives and my friends all coming out. Uncles, thank you so much. And every single buffer in this room, I want to say thank you. I walk into the base medrash every day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and I always see people learning. Not just learning, the fake learning, like they're getting what I like it. No, they're eavesdropping on other people's conversations. No, they're actually learning. They're being masmidim, and they're pouring their heart into the Torah. They're not wasting their time. And honestly, it's an inspiration to continue to learn. And thank you, each one of you, for making this place such a big welcome at Torah. And obviously, that can't happen without our great Rosh Hashiva. Thank you so much and obviously, I think I actually am seeing one of my Rebbeim, my 8th grade Rebbe, that actually got me into this yeshiva. All right, Dad? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. Now, I know everyone doesn't like, why is this guy still speaking? There's so much food out, the dancing, there's Yosef, Dovi. But there's one thank you that I have to say, and it's kind of weird, but I'm going to say it still. There's this one guy that from the beginning of my life, I always have to see him. And I see him every day. And honestly, on my bad days, he's there to help me. On my good days, he makes it better. And honestly, I never feel alone. They say, Shifti Hashem, like you told me, you always have that Hashem in front of you. I have Shifti Yosef, and like you told me. You think I am, he's 10 times more. I know I'm not that much, I'm making 100 times more. But honestly, thank you so much for everything you do. And people ask me, how is it having a twin? I say it's like a wife. It's a pain in the neck, but it's worth it. It's worth it at the end of the day. So with that, I want to introduce my brother Yosef to be Messiah in Batra. What? Let's continue speaking, bro. I was born in the same guy speaking all the time. I'm just going to do the last part very quickly. I can't really top off whatever you just did. So. אומר דוד אמר שמו, אנו כולנו מיד משתעבד, נכלל אור בעמו, לא יבוא יקינם. פליגו, לרנחמן, אמר רנחמן, אמר אור דבזדן הוא, דלא יבוא יקינם, הבעמו בוא יקינם. Hilchus Arib, B'Shas Matanois Loiboikin, after Matanois Boikin. Arib the Bezin Loiboikin, the Bahiano, the Mehemele, Omer Mishadle. Hadran Allah get Pasha to speak along the Sefis for the last one. Hadran Allah get Pasha to speak on the Sefis for the last one. Hadran Allah get Pasha to speak on the Sefis for the last one. Imam Shek after. Now, I would like to call Yuri to speak.
So I didn't even know I was speaking today because Yaakov didn't tell me, but I guess, I'm here, so I might as well say something. Yaakov said thank you to me for always being there and, learning with him. But at the end of the day, the truth is you can ask my father, it's not easy to be my chavrusa at all. He's tried for the past 18 years of my life, 19 years of my life, and every day, I drive him crazy. But Yaakov, every night, every morning, last year, this year, we're still learning. And he's always there for me, whether I come in grumpy, upset, whatever it is, he's always there no matter what. And you can obviously see, I don't even have to say anything, you guys were all here. You see that he's a phenomenal speaker. Yosef said you can't top that, you can't do anything. But I just want to say thank you and mazel tov to him and his parents, brothers, cousins, all here and to support him. I'd like to thank also my father for being here. The Rosh Hashiva and call Yaakov again to do Pesachim and finish Pesachim.
Rabbi Simlai ikla the pidyon ben. So Simlai went to pidyon ben. So if anyone doesn't know what pidyon ben is, when you have your first son, Karin's dream is that Ben Zachai, first son. That's the dream. So he went to pidyon ben, and they asked him a child, Volume. She called pidyon ben, she b'shamim mitzvayis v'tzibanu al pidyon ben, al be a ben mevarich. They said there's two brachas you make by pidyon ben. They said the bracha of al pidyon ben.